describe when I'm put on patrol day and night.
I wonder what legacy I'll leave to the scrolls.
Never forget the heroes of Fort Defiance.
Your world has so much to teach us. Why didn't I see it before?
We have to cut ourselves free from America to rebuild.
Ultrasite country. Who knows what strange contraptions the old mining firms built here?
Order. I have everything I need here.
We'll make Atlas stronger than Fort Defiance ever was.
Scorched plague. I've seen nothing like it. I wonder if I could get my hands on a sample.
What else? I'm glad we got into this.
Find, protect, and preserve.
We come all the way from California, and here I am fixing broken pipes.
The elders have so much to teach us. I hope I'll get to meet them in person someday.
Too bad this observatory's so busted up. I'd like to look at the stars. What can I do for you? Or did you come to lend a hand? Lucky for you, I know all about us.
Go home. Let us take care of things here.
We're an order dedicated to the preservation of science and technology. We find and catalog knowledge from before the bombs and keep it safe.
Makes sense now.
You could say that. You could also say we have no right to keep knowledge to ourselves. That everyone deserves to learn. We get that from time to time. I can see the argument, but I believe in our mission. Nobody else does what we do. If not for us, all the old tech would just rust away. California, all the way across the continent. I've read that people used to fly that distance in a few hours, but the trek took us months. Maybe eventually we'll get flying again, but for now it's an arduous journey. We're here to help the people of Appalachia, and to catalog any technological discoveries we find. We set up Fort Atlas to that end. This old observatory has a wealth of technology to discover, and is a good staging point for future operations. We also want to learn the fate of the old Appalachian chapter of our order. MIA, presumed KIA.
The old world has so much to teach us. Why didn't I see it before?
Yeah. To be honest, that's what I expected to hear. At least they died trying to make a difference. May they rest in peace. I knew some of them from a distance, but it's better if we don't get into that now. The Council of Elders, chief among them. High Elder Maxon, our founder. He proclaimed our mission and set us on the path we follow today. Our expedition leader is Paladin Romani. She's an aggressive and daring commander who's taken us through many trials.
One day I'll make night.
Okay, what do you want to know? Sure, what needs explaining? We're the heart of the Brotherhood's mission to find, catalog, and preserve pre-war technology. Though sometimes in practice, well, let's just say I spend a lot of time calibrating things. We record things. Histories, schematics, every bit of knowledge we can get our hands on. We collect it all, compile it, and keep it safe, like old scholars or monks. Our name harkens back to that ancient tradition, so that's why we use it.
We have to cut ourselves free from America to rebuild America. Take the old and forge it anew.
Well, first you'll have to join up, and we don't just take anyone. Then it depends on your aptitude. Not everyone has the mind or patience for scribe work. But ultimately, if you're driven and competent, I don't see why not. Sure, what do you want to talk about? About me? What do you want to know? California, though, truth be told, I've spent most of my life in one bunker or another. My parents joined the Brotherhood when I was very young, so I grew up in the Order. Really? How rare. You'll have to let me interview you sometime. I'd love to know more about the vaults. I have a lot to take care of while we get settled in here, but I'll get back to you on this. Don't worry. I do. Scribes are critical to the Brotherhood's mission. It's a mission I believe in. The work that comes my way can get tedious or overwhelming, but knowing I'm helping the greater good keeps me satisfied. Appalachia. Well, it suits our needs well. It has its dangers, but it's in better shape than a lot of America. That means there's a lot of old tech lying around and in good enough condition for conservation. We're a strong organization with a noble goal. Our methods draw some flack sometimes, but we're doing the right thing. Of course. What's the next topic? I'll be here if you need anything. Anything you need to know? I'll be here if you need anything.
Keep that armor in good shape. Your life could depend on it.
Old world science solved a lot of problems back in the day. But look what else we got.
The elders have so much to teach us. I hope I'll get to meet them in person someday. I can do more than just fight. But how do I show that I'm fit to be a scribe when I'm put on patrol day and night?
We're building something big here. Don't get left behind.
Robots everywhere, but all standard models. Surely there's something more to discover here.
Never gonna believe myself holding out before. I get to go out and prove my worth.
Broad-based new initiates. I may need another scribe just to keep us honest.
Starting recording. Night Alan Connors. Brotherhood of Steel. Oh, 1 second. Let me toss another one on the fire. Screw it. I'll do a status report later. This one's off the record. Odessa, Daniel, I'm about halfway through the night shift. And it's gotten me thinking. I know it's been tough on you two. Neither of you are quite the grizzled old-timers that Layla and I are. I just want you both to know how proud I am. Not just to see you rise to the challenge, but to see you do it with such vigor and determination for every bit of trouble this trip has been. It's only just started. But I hope you can enjoy calm nights like these and take a moment to relax. Look, each of us have our reasons for being here, including Layla. You may not always see eye to eye, but know that she cares deeply for both of you. And Daniel, I know you probably feel she cares too much, but that's just her way. Leading from the heart has always worked out for her in the past. Trust me, man. I've been through the thick of it with her. This journey ahead, we're going to need to rely on each other with unwavering support. The toughest trials have yet to come. But remember, we're more than a brotherhood now. We're family.
If anything tries to attack, we'll be ready. The settlers want to rebuild, but they're only looking to the future. We need to understand the past as well, or we'll make the same mistakes going forward.
Someone returned their gun to the wrong place again. Do I need to call a seminar on this? No meat approved. A perfectly preserved pie with every dinner declined. And this ration request doesn't even have a name.
What are you? I'd rather not talk right now.
Are you gonna be my new friend?
We should spend less time in defiance and more time here. Appalachia's future will be decided. link in a chain that binds. That is what makes us together. Each day in service of another.
Just fine. But how do I show that I'm fit to be a scribe when I'm put on patrol day and night?
Good, you're here. So, how do you feel about reading comprehension? I was hoping to start out by sweeping the area for documentation left behind from before the war. Are you trying to get on my good side? Because that's how you get on my good side. But enough about that. I'd like to get started. Let's head downstairs and see what we can turn up. This must be Dr. Hammond, Atlas's lead scientist. We recovered some of his holotapes and logs in our initial sweep of the area. This tech down here is his handiwork, and he couldn't give it up. Even after the war, I should make arrangements for a proper burial. This looks like what we need. Here's a document. one. I think this is good. Let's talk for a sec. That should be enough to start. Let me take a look. Atlas decommission report. So the project was in bad shape after all? I knew it sounded too good to be true. Fascinating. Wow. This is some seriously classified stuff that I just let you read, isn't it? I wasn't supposed to show you any of this. That should be enough to start. Let me take a look. Atlas decommission report. So the project was in bad shape after all? I knew it sounded too good to be true. Fascinating. Wow. This is some seriously classified stuff that I just let you read, isn't it? I wasn't supposed to show you any of this. I guess you're right. There's only so much I can tell you, but I'll share what I feel is relevant. Atlas wasn't exactly an observatory before the war. That was just a front. The military conducted research here. Pretty advanced research. We're down here to investigate and see what's worth salvaging for the Brotherhood. I did ask you to help, after all. It's only fair you're prepared for what you might find. Now, let's follow up on some leads from this report. I'd like to do a quick inspection of some key components that should be nearby. There's probably a terminal around here. If it's still running, we can do a diagnostics test. That will tell us about some of the less accessible hardware. The report mentioned that the machine's intake pump was under a lot of pressure. Let's find the release valve for that and give it a spin, see what happens. Finally, the lower core on this level should have a wiring box. Why don't we take a glance at that to get an idea of the electrical hookups? The diagnostics test can tell us the state of some key components that we won't be able to test manually. Keep an eye on the state of each component, and we'll want to look into them after the initial check. The release valve is an emergency mechanism that can relieve pressure on the intake pipes if they come under stress. If all is well, we'll just be able to turn it and nothing out of the ordinary will happen. Think of the wires like the blood vessels of the machine. Without the electricity running through them, nothing's going to work. We just need to do a little checkup and see what condition they're in. Should be a simple inspection. You can have point, but I'll be looking over your shoulder the whole way. Take note of the details and we'll discuss how it goes after. Interesting. Looks like we've got company. All right, let's go over the inspection results. The diagnostics check revealed some issues. Flux disruption in the induction loop, intake valves ruptured, and the ion focus? Misaligned. Problematic to say the least. Next, we have the release valve. That went. Well, what was your assessment? It certainly did. I'm going to mark that down as bad. Last but not least, the wiring. The wires were... Yep. I think the warm reception they gave us also points to that. Okay, well, sorry about the pop quiz. But in general, you're handling yourself well so far. Nobody does, outside of a classroom. That's why I love to evaluate new prospects this way. If I'm going to recommend you to Paladin Romani, I need to know you're serious. Can you pay attention? Think on your feet? If you can, you earn my favor. If you can't, then, well, maybe I reconsider my recommendation. I'm worried about what our inspection turned up. There are a few parts I'd like to extract and examine in my lab. There's the pressure gauge, the core processor, and the ion focus. They should be upstairs. There's a lot I can learn from examining them if we can pull them out and get them back to my lab in decent condition. I want to take some notes on the core up there, so I'm going to leave the parts removal to you. Each extraction will be a little different, but in general, you'll want to use a light touch. I want the components in good condition, so please be careful. Any questions, or are you ready to get started? You saw what happened when we tested the release valve. I want to examine the stress on the gauge. That could tell us if all that built-up pressure was normal or an anomaly. Oh, and you may have to pry it off, but be careful about it when the time comes. The brain of the machine. It's the component that coordinates all of the others. It should be slotted into a terminal somewhere. May take a little technical know-how to extract, but nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. A very important and technical component. It helps force particles into a beam that the machine could fire to affect the weather. Somehow. Could take a bit of manual dexterity to pry loose without any damage. I'm counting on you. Let's see what you can do. thought of... Can you pick up the induction coil up there on the machine core? That doesn't sound good. Whew. Whatever you did up there, the security system sure didn't like it. Thanks for the backup. I doubt I could have handled that on my own. Now that that's over with, let me take a look at what you've collected. The pressure gauge looks like it's in good condition. The core processor is pristine. Good work on that. The ion focus looks usable. Impressive. The induction coil seems fine. That's a relief. And what is this? This is... Is this ultrasight? Fascinating. This looks like some kind of compact power source. None of the documents, none of the terminals said anything about this. Did this power the whole machine? The fuel of the future. I'd heard the stories, but to think I could hold so much energy in my hands like this? Project Atlas may be beyond our power to repair, but we might have something here. I expected the machine to use a small reactor's worth of energy, but they condensed that into a container I can hold in my hands. Oh, I could do a lot with this. You were a big help. I'm sure you have what it takes to be an initiate, and soon. Here, take this letter to Paladin Romani. She'll make the final call on letting you into the Brotherhood, but my wreck may tip the scales. I'm going back upstairs to take a look at these components. I need to catalog our findings. If nothing else, this ultrasight battery has piqued my interest. There's a lot I could learn from reverse engineering it. Oh, I'm giving you access to my private terminal, too. It has all the logs we recovered from when we moved in. After what we just went through, I think you deserve to know more about Project Atlas. Take a look if you get some free time. Thanks again for your help, and good luck with the Paladin.